not getting no as an answer, or understand that no is a temporary answer. It's
Yeah.
not now. When you're going to raise an investment and someone is telling you no, it's not now. A no is a temporary answer.
Oren, very excited to be talking to you, and I'm sure for everyone watching here in India who would get to see you, it's an honor because you've had a very interesting, and an interesting, I think, is a limiting word because you've had a very nuanced journey, if I may say so, and we'd love to talk to you about that. But let's begin with something which I heard you saying, that one thing that did not change for you, which has never changed for you, and didn't change in the pandemic world that we're all living in, are customers, privacy and security, in enabling innovation and data accuracy. So I've written this down. Tell us, because it's so important for all of us in this digital world that we're living in. Tell us, what do you mean by this?
Definitely. So first of all, thank you for inviting me. Such a pleasure and honor to speak with you today. Um, so I think that we all can acknowledge that we live in a very rapid changes world. And one thing is constant, that the future is going to change and everything is going to change, besides the things that never going to change. Now, a lot of people are kind of maybe obsessed or really busy in prediction. I'm not trying to predict the future, because so many things. And I think that the best prediction into the future is really identifying the things that are never going to change.
Mm.
Customers, for example, right? So always going to be customers. And hopefully for us and for so many other companies, customers is the life and blood. This is the best investor that you can ever have. It really reminds me also the start of this company. So it starts and ends with the customer. This is they give you the feedback on your product. They trust you with your business, with their business. So obviously customers are going to be there. And then we thought, okay, besides customers that hopefully going to be here in 5 and 10 and 20 years from today, what other elements within our business is critical and will continue to be critical in the future for our customers? And that's privacy and security. It's not going to go away. I can give you a hint and how the future is going to look like. Privacy and security are going to be there for sure. Enabling innovation, and that's probably also applicable to so many other companies. Specifically for us as a platform, it's the life and blood and how we work. Because in the end of the day, the platform, the AppsFlyer platform, has 8,000 partners. So first of all, we would like to make sure that our partners can innovate on behalf of our customers and mutual customers. And then how do we enable innovation in the company, and how we enable innovation for our customers? And one of the things that over there is we are busy in creating things and products that we have a significant advantage at. And if we don't, we shouldn't do it. We should open that for the market, because probably the market can be and can do a better job than us. That's a critical element in the way we look at what we do and what we shouldn't do. Accuracy of the data. Well, in the end of the day, a customer is making significant decisions based on the data and the analytics.
Yeah.
Last year alone was more than $30 billion worth of decisions. So obviously, accuracy and the quality of the data is really important. So we came up with these 4 pillars, and this is how we've been thinking about the business. In the last year, we actually took that one step further. We are a B2B company, but we serve B2C companies. We serve only B2C companies. So we sell them software as a service in our software, so they can provide great user experience and value to their own customers, the end users, preserve their privacy and preserve their privacy together. So in the last couple of years, and specifically kind of resonated with all the changes that are happening in the market, that we need, if we really care about our customers, we really care about their own customers.
Yeah.
And based on the knowledge and experience that we have, we can enable them with our software and service and how to really maximize both preserving their privacy and the user experience and value. It doesn't really matter which device they're using. It can be an iOS, an Apple device, or Android device, or any kind of device or platform. We're really agnostic to it. And this is how the company started. The company started as we want to be independent. We really want to serve one side of this mess, media, marketing, and advertising mess. And it just makes so much sense. Yeah, well, it's really interesting because sometimes you say, okay, so actually it reminds me what and how you started the business. Yes, it's not a business. Maybe it's not a good business model. Maybe you don't have a business model, but eventually for the long term, obviously, maximizing value for end users, maximizing their user experience, maximizing their privacy, there is tremendous value. Now the question is, can you quantify that into business? Can you extract some of the value that you're delivering into the ecosystem? And I think that this is a matter of time until you figure this out, and we did. So yeah, it's just reminds me how you started the company. So yeah.
Many companies, and especially when they become successful like yours, there's this whole thing that we hear, that we have customer obsession. But I think from your journey and the success that you found with AppsFlyer, you've lived the talk. Your company has walked the talk of living it. Tell us what does that mean in a span of 10 years, staying true to saying that we are customer obsessed? Because it has become something which everyone says, right? But what did you do in the last 10 years, which you think is wow?
Yeah, first of all, it's easy to say. There's so many things in say,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to do. And these are the basic elementary things that it's not enough to say. You need to live through it every single day and believe in it. Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. The same goes with long-term. Everybody's saying, yeah, long-term, long-term, long-term. What is long-term to you? Because making long-term decisions by definition means that there is some suffering in the short term. If there is no investment in the short term and there is no some kind of a suffering in the short mid-term, it's not an investment and it's not a long-term mindset. So I'm not here to say that all the decisions are here for you to suffer, but people tend to overestimate or prefer short-term pleasure or satisfaction over long-term success.
Yeah.
And also there is a saying that people underestimate what they can achieve in the long term and overestimate what they can achieve in the short term. So every long-term decision is some kind of an investment that you make in the present, in the near term. And people need to understand that, and this is not comfortable. Customers, it starts with how we started the company. I didn't come from marketing or advertising. I was a software developer. I started a little bit in the US. I purchased my first iPhone. It was 2010. It was a used one. I bought in Craigslist. I was using BlackBerry. I thought that BlackBerry is the thing, and Apple don't even have a chance to compete with this device. Obviously, I was very wrong. I didn't went to sleep that day because I was so fascinated about what this device can actually do to our lives. I wanted to take a part in this. I didn't really feel into consumer business and I wanted to provide a tool or software or service that will allow apps to be successful in this ecosystem. It felt like the wild, what was the Wild West on the marketing and advertising side, but it felt like a gold rush. Everybody went to mobile for good reasons. I mean, obviously, we wanted to, and I wanted to select something that will continue to grow, and it's super important. But it was also very exciting. So in the gold rush, in the end of the day, Levi's provided the tools and to support miners, and in the end of the day, they had great business. And I thought that if we build a great service and product to help app developers to be successful, it's going to be great. Another aspect was I did a small research for due diligence for a small VC in the US, and I noticed that there is a wild west of companies in the ed tech business that I just didn't understand, and I still don't understand in many aspects. Now you have so many companies and they're serving buyers and sellers together, and I'm like, okay, so if you are optimizing this, the buyer want to pay less and get more, and the seller wanna get more and do less. This is nature of business. This is okay, but you cannot serve both, because if you are serving both, what you actually serving is only yourself. And what you're optimizing is your own bank account. And this is not a mission. This is not something that when people wake up in the morning and say, hey, let's make more money by doing this and this. And then I thought, you know what, maybe I don't understand what's going on here, but I do understand conflict of interest. So my engineering mindset was, something doesn't make sense. And if we just stick to one side and build great software and service to represent one side of this equation, the same way as you're taking your own lawyer when you're buying, I don't know, your house to represent your own interest in the market. So this is what we've built. We've built the side that represent the buyers, the app developers, and the creators in this ecosystem. And I think that this is what allowed us to gain a lot of trust in the ecosystem and building a network of 8,000 partners. And on the other side, when you actually build trusted relationship with the customer that comes from a pure intention to be part of the success of our customer, we share knowledge. They tell us that their ambitions, they tell us what they're suffering or their challenges and what they want to achieve and how the day-to-day looks like. We go back and build great software to help them do a better job. And from the beginning, it was so fascinating to me to talk with professionals that have been doing advertising and marketing and all that stuff for many years that I can learn from. It's amazing. So just set a pure mission into purely, really, and all-in serve your customers. It pays back because they will tell you their problems, and sometimes they don't, but they tell you what they want to do, and then they're not product managers. You need to understand they're not going to design your product. I remember one of the first customers that I met. We didn't really have a product yet. Actually, we did, but there was no GUI, so there was nothing. And I said to myself, okay, what am I going to do? I have nothing to show them. So I built a PowerPoint and did like with Excel file, some charts and pie charts and like analytics dashboard. So I really invested time in designing it. But it was just an Excel file. I took a screenshot. I put that on the deck. We went to the meeting. I showed them, okay, this is the platform. This is how it looks like. And they say, boom, exactly. This is what we need. I said, okay, great. So I went back to Reshef, my CTO, and told him, okay, this is the dashboard. Build it. So
wow.
No, I think it doesn't go away. So you come from zero knowledge. This is great because you don't have any knowledge. It's amazing to have no knowledge because you're coming in with a very fresh perspective on solving different things. And this is why we've created a very different company. At the beginning, it was very clear for us that someone needs to be able to measure and enable customers to make decisions. Very basic. But I think that short-sighted, which is kind of the problem of many companies, they said, okay, we can measure, but we can also sell media. So I will send you media. I will do the measurement because instead of selling 1 cent, I will send you $2 worth of business. And we said, you know what? No, we're gonna send you in the cent. We're gonna let someone else to earn the $2. That's okay. But we are going to stick with the things that we believe in the long term. So that was kind of the investment we've made all these years because we had so many opportunities to make much more money that we're making today. But we said to ourselves, no. We are here for the long term. We have a mission. We really and truly represent the customers. We want to stay independent. We want to stay unbiased. And this is why, me and 1,200 other employees wake up in the morning with a sense of purpose, with a mission, a clear mission. I wouldn't replace that with anything. And you just need to have patience and consistency. And then you see the fruit. It just takes a little bit more time, maybe.
And now you are a big, very successful unicorn operating in different parts of the world. How do you instill those kind of values and orientation as you scale?
And every decision that we make as a company or any individual need to satisfy these two values. One, is it good for our customers? Number two, does it make you more proud to be a part of the company? Now, the pride thing is critical because obviously it serves also the first one, because you cannot be proud in the creation and what we do if the product sucks or we're doing something that is not good for our customers or any one of our customers. And I have 100% trust in the good ethics of people in general, but you just need to give them the platform. So I tell them, everything that we do as a company, your colleagues, you need to satisfy these two very simple values that it's easy to remember. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to have a piece of paper. You don't need to open your computer to remember it. Pride and customers. That's it. I'm not telling you how to think, and I'm not telling you how to make this. Okay, there are other things and tools that we do have, but these are the basic elementary things that I want you and everybody else to think through, and we make it very clear. We make it very, you know what? And you just said that earlier. It's very simple, right? Okay, so the company purpose is what? To serve who? Customers. So I didn't mention anything. And pride. You want to be proud of the creation of that. You wake up every day and you're doing something. This is the vast majority of life. So you want to be proud of what you're doing, right? So you want to feel it. And I think that it really ignited so many things that we do in the company, like AppsFlyer Cares and giving back to communities. It's amazing, and it's an amazing thing for the company. We can talk about the community aspect of everything that we're doing in the AppsFlyer Cares, and we also can talk about why it's so great for the company and why it's so great for the people that work in the company, and how come it makes them more proud to be part of this company. And being part of this company is not being proud of the logo. Yes, it's a nice logo, and we designed it in $30 10 years ago. But it's nothing about that, and it's nothing about the offices. It's about the people. It's the people that around you, the group, the team, and this kind of value. So, and also the diversity of opinions, because pride for you is maybe something else from someone else from another country, another background. And that's perfectly okay. I have my own view of the world, and but I acknowledge that this is my own view, and you probably have different view, and that's great. And what we're saying, just bring yourself and ask yourself what makes you proud. And again, going back to the AppsFlyer Cares initiatives, in different offices that we have in the world, 20 offices, different offices doing different things that they care about in communities. So, and during COVID, it really it was a significant increase in everything that we do, but and very specific also. But yeah, I think that this is the most important thing, and this is how we, it's so someone told me a couple of days ago, yeah, we had this debate, and then we asked ourselves, is it good to our customers? And then we had a very clear answer. So I said, you know what? These basic things, people forget the basics. Why we exist? Customers. If they're not customers, we shouldn't exist.
If you had to say, and if you had to look at your last 10 years and then as you move forward, what has made you have this accelerated and you know, get to this place? Because at the end of the day, we are all in the tech ecosystem where the valuations and the scale and blah blah talk matters a lot, and you've achieved that. What are some of the 2 3 things you've done right, that the company has grown at such a pace?
So we talked about customers and
Yeah.
really putting customers at the front. I truly believe in culture. So we can talk about culture and the pieces of it, but there's no doubt, like we mentioned, change, and how do you manage change, master change, and identify the opportunities and challenges. People see challenges and they walk away instead of just, hey, this is an opportunity just in front of you. What are you doing with the opportunity that someone just put on your table? You just go and you be what? You be sad about it? No, you have an opportunity. Now the thing is with challenges and changes, the question is, are you capable of identifying the opportunities that are hidden in these kind of challenges? And so that's one. The second thing is just execute. So the 2 basic things. So every challenge that we see as a company last year was very challenging for the entire ecosystem, with the mobile ecosystem, for various reasons, with rapid changes. But hey, we told our customers and partners, look, there are opportunities. Now the question is, are you capable of identifying them and acting on them? And in our point of view, and the way we've been looking at things, we've been trying to solve some of the challenges that customers have been facing in last year, specifically in changes across privacy. So that's another aspect. It's really important to have an agile mentality in this changing, rapidly changing ecosystem. And if you look at companies that were extremely successful and now vanished from existence, I don't know, like we mentioned BlackBerry. So okay, BlackBerry again. So they companies that really continue to walk in the same direction, although the market really significantly changed. I was working for such companies as well, and I think that this is very hard in committing change in big companies. But if you practice this over and over and over, so one of the things that we identify, it's very basic. In COVID-19 and the changes with iOS 14 and Apple and privacy, first of all, it's a great opportunity for us as a company, individual, to practice this change. I mean, if we acknowledge that life and everything is going to change, hey, this is an opportunity to practice it, because if you practice something, it's becoming easier and easier and easier, and you're mastering it. Now, you probably would agree, and our listeners and viewers probably also agree, that mastering change, by definition, in a world that is changing, will be able to become successful eventually. So let's master change. And I think that first opportunity when you have a change, hey, let's just master that. And this is what we've been doing in the last 10 years, but specifically in the last year and a half with big company and bigger company. It's not huge. Yeah, so focus is really important. We sell a lot of things. We had huge opportunities to make more money and stuff like that, but it requires disciplines and persistency in terms of first of all management, CEO, founders, but also leading and managing the board in that aspect. And it sometimes can be very hard for entrepreneurs, especially for maybe young entrepreneurs. So that's and we are blessed. We really have great investors and great board that really bought into the vision and what we want to do here. So there was no pressure of okay, let's make more money or stuff like that. So I always open board meetings with a vision and what we want to do and achieve in the world. And that revenue is secondary, and they have this kind of moment that they feel less comfortable, but the revenue is growing. So, but I enjoy seeing that revenue is secondary. It's like, okay, they become worried. Okay, Oren, so revenue is not growing. So the revenue is growing because of that mindset.
Yes. Yes.
So, but you need, it's the consistency that creates that, right? So you cannot say, okay, revenue is secondary, this is why we didn't grow this quarter. No. You have to always think that way, and then eventually the revenue will continue to grow consistently. What else? There's so many other things. I think that staying independent and really unbiased. This is also goes to serving our customers, because once we will not do it, and we had competitors that decided to go sideways and in my point of view kind of betrayed the trust that was given in them by the ecosystem and by the customers, I feel really bad, because also for them, it's good for us, but for them, because in the end of the day, what are you doing? I mean, you want to feel good about the creation. I want to be able, I don't know, when I'm old and retired, and just sit down and meet customers, I don't know, 20, 30 years from today, and we're going to have a good story. And we're going to have fun, and I'm going to continue to be proud in the creation. And I want that feeling that every single employee will have.
Yeah.
So again, I'm not looking at the short term. How can we maximize return right now for us, for shareholders? I'm looking at maximizing the return, not necessarily monetary returns, but it goes together. We need to understand that it goes together. You just need to have the discipline at the time. So
it's like what you said, right? That did you feel proud of what you did, or what you built, or what you worked for every day? Yeah.
But if we, let's say, I don't know, change our positioning and become biased, or become selling, I don't know, media or advertising, or being acquired by a media company, I will not be able to look in my customer's eyes and say, hey, I did everything to serve you, and that was our mission. This is definitely betraying the trust. And you live once. Why should I do it to myself? And why should I do it to 1,200 employees? So it's not going to happen. And sometimes you need to create boundaries to yourself. And once you set it up as a company statement and commitment to the market publicly, you're kind of creating boundaries to yourself. It's not even an option.
Yeah.
You have constraints, and constraints are good. The question is if you have good constraints.
This is very inspiring. I have to now ask you about India. Tell us, because one of the, I was just searching, and I found that 4 weeks back, there's a AppsFlyer report, I think, which says that India has seen the highest number of fintech startups.
So first of all, India and in general developing countries, but specifically India, is very interesting in general and very interesting for us. And we also have kind of a sense of purpose when we are serving these kind of regions. So obviously, India is extremely important for us. We have an amazing office in Bangalore. Well, everybody's working from home, but um, and I will explain. In developing countries and India, the usage of mobile device is amazing. I mean, if you look at groceries, for example, or e-commerce, 90% of transactions are happening on a mobile device in a native app experience. Now, if you compare that to the US, it used to be 20% like 2 years ago before Corona, maybe after Corona it grew. But the level of innovation and what people and companies are doing on a mobile device is by far more sophisticated and advanced than Western countries, specifically in the US. If you look in the US, you walk around with a lot of credit cards and you have computer here and computer there. So some of the things that you're doing on a mobile device, but not everything. So obviously payments and obviously India is leading that front. And I think it's amazing. And so many other things. We also did, like a couple of years ago, we did the lifetime measurement per device, and we found that in Asia and developing countries and in India, the average of spend in lifetime value per device is comparable to the West and comparable to the US. Now, if you think about GDP and GDP per capita, it doesn't make sense. Now, how does it make sense?
Yeah.
But if in the US you do only 20% or 10% of the transactions on a mobile device, and now compare that to a country like India, that 100% of the activity is going on the device. So obviously you're going to get something like that. I think that we should do another research like that, because it was mind-blowing. So we really enjoy servicing the Indian market domestically and globally, supporting Indian companies to go global. And my mission to different offices, and when we establish our office in India, was very clear. The mission was very clear. Sanjay asked me, "Okay, what is the mission? What is the KPIs? How are you going to measure me?" And I told him, "Look, it's not simpler than that. Your mission is to make Indian companies successful domestically, locally, and globally." And that's now you figure out the KPIs, you give yourself the goals, and you're going to measure them by the end of the year. But you are in the cockpit, you run the show. That's when you wake up and you go to the office and 40 other employees go to the office, their mission is to make the companies in India successful. So and we see that as a mission. In the end of the day, it's not only about the software, it's about education, about what you can do with a mobile app. It's about how can you run good business, a healthy business, that you can invest $1 and make a little bit more, and create great user experience and preserve user privacy. That's one. The second thing is we really enjoy servicing a sophisticated market like India, because we learn a lot. And I think that there are a lot of similarities in the culture. Israelis and Indians are very direct, being very direct. If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. And they tell you, hey, it doesn't work. So the ability to go into the details and provide you really good feedback. So I'm not seeing that as complaint. So someone will see that as complaint. Oh, this customer is always complaining and always finding something that doesn't work. It's amazing. It's the best customer that we can have. Let's have more of these. If you perfect your product to a level that companies in India are happy to use, and they're also sensitive in the cost. So you need to reduce cost to make sure that the product is efficient and it's faster and it's better, and you don't need to require a lot of support, and it allows them to do more, and there are less bugs. Hey, we can be successful everywhere. So let's have more complaining customers. We need these complaints. So we established like before Corona, we had the LTV and TLV, which is lifetime value, which is a kind of a term in mobile, and TLV is Tel Aviv. So we invited our customers, group of customers to Tel Aviv. So besides taking them to Tel Aviv and restaurants and stuff like that, we had a couple of days session with the product management and product managers, and we ran ideas with them and creativity ideas and stuff like that. So the people learned so much, and the product team really learned a lot. So they learned so much that 2 months ago, they had another session. They visited India, but they stayed in Tel Aviv. So what they done is they invited they ordered Indian food to the office, and they visited India for 2 days. So people here told me, hey, yeah, we are visiting India for 2 days now. And I'm like, really? What, yeah. No, here. So they actually had 2 days sessions with customers from India and partners from India, and it was amazing.
The usage in Africa and some of the countries you mentioned, and AppsFlyer has mentioned, is growing. And then that brings me to the question: you are in different geographies, you are working with brands across the world. What's the growth? Because you're doing so well, and does it create a sense of stress, complacency, hunger? What happens in your mind with this growth that you've achieved right now?
Yeah. So first of all, we are growing very rapidly in different KPIs. ARR today is 240,
Wow.
give or take, and we are growing rapidly on in ARR revenue and everything else. But again, I think that revenue is always secondary. So it's also why it's secondary, because it's in the mindset, but also it's the result of so many things that we've done in all these years. So Q2 ended and Q3 started. We have zero impact on Q3 results. It's already set. I think that we have much more to do than I actually originally thought. So at the beginning, investors told us, hey, this is a feature, it's not interesting, blah, blah, blah. And then, wow, really people need it, but still it should be part of whatever. And then it became a platform and a marketplace of 8,000 partners, including all the Facebooks and the Googles and the Apples and the TikToks and the Snapchats and the Pinterest and in the world. And then it became a network of technology companies like Salesforce and Adobe and Oracle and analytics platforms. And then we had endless amount of opportunities in building different products and services and quote unquote making more money. And then we thought, okay, we should be focused on only things that we can be the best at and open that for the market, if not. And the further we went, we kind of sitting on a higher mountain because we have more visibility in how customers are using our software and their challenges in general. We have much better relationship and visibility about their own challenges. Now it's becoming kind of an execution problem. So from not knowing, you actually now knowing. Now the question is, what are you doing with this relationship? What are you doing with these insights to allow you to build the next thing? I remember a couple of years ago, we had the board meeting. So in the board meeting, I had the slide of we are 5% done, because there is a plan. I never had the plan, but there's a plan. All parts. Okay, we do this, and this, but all these we probably do or maybe not do. We don't know. then I had 5% done. The next board, I made it 1% done. And they're like, dude, what's wrong with you? You moving backward? And I said, no, actually, what's left to do and the vision is becoming bigger. So then we kind of said, okay, you know what? We're always going to be 1% done. And I can tell you that in the last year, specifically with the changes around privacy and that, in the all hands, I actually changed it just to make a joke for 0.5% done. But it's not really a joke, because if you really think about it, we found so many things that we need to do more for the ecosystem. The ecosystem is becoming much more complex than it used to be, and I believe that in the next 2 years, it's going to be much more complex than it is today. In not in 10%, not in 20%, like in a massive way more complex. Now, someone needs to solve these challenges, and the solution is in the form of software. And this is what we do. We do software. We're not doing chairs. We're not doing tables. We are doing software, and we are building software to serve customers, whether they are on any device or any platform or any Facebook or any Android or iOS or Google. It doesn't really matter. So we are kind of creating kind of the glue and the connection between these platforms or walled gardens or whatever you call these big platforms. And we ask ourselves actually 3 questions. How can these users, when they click a link, clicking a link is an API. So when you click a link, how do you create good user experience before and after, preserve privacy in the process, and provide insights for the creators to build better products and to provide better experience and value? So these are kind of the things that we've been thinking about. So kind of the vision actually expanded. So we have more to do. So you work, and then you have more work. And I think it's amazing. And sometimes people, maybe people kind of getting frustrated because we've been working so hard and now we have so much more to do. Yes, this is nature of business. The thing with companies, that the intention should be that they last forever. It's not, okay, so when are we closing the company? It's not let's talk about that. So no, this is the other way around. It should be here forever. So at least that should be the mindset, because if not, what are we doing here?
I read that a cook who became a billionaire entrepreneur.
Yeah, what about it?
I want to ask you, so did you actually, in your stint in the army, do cooking job for 2 years?
Yeah, so in Israel, everybody needs to serve. In the Israeli Defense Forces. I was into computers when I was a kid. In the 80s, I had a computer. It wasn't even a PC, and I was working for a PC computer shop, and I had the BBS. We're not gonna talk about what is the BBS. It's before the internet. Using a fax protocol to have this kind of funny websites and stuff. Anyways, and in the military, they invited me for an interview because to assign you to different units, and I said, yeah, I want computers, and they sent me to be a cook. And it's funny because, and it's sad because I had so much passion. I didn't know anyone, and that's a problem. I think that it's not really suburb, but it's not the center of Israel, and I didn't know, and my parents didn't know anyone. It's now it's much better. Just to say, it's more than 25 years ago, but now it's much better. I think that now the military service is really taking into account the passion of the people that are joining, because when you have kind of a trap, everybody needs to join you. It's not a decision that, okay, you know what, fuck you, I don't want to go. No, it's not even an option. And I think that that was maybe one of the things. But anyways, I also had fun. doing that experience, I had no option. They told me, okay, this is what you're gonna do, and they told me, hey, that there is no positions now. Another like exclusive units, like 8 to 100. I don't know if this is something that, but it's very famous here. If you go to these kind of units, you don't need to go to university actually. So once you finish the military service, instead of working in a gas station to save money for academic studies, you go to high-tech companies and you earn a lot. So this is kind of really kind of encouraging the inequality. And I think that just to distribute that kind of access to information and stuff like that is really important.
Today, you are a phenomenally successful and look like a very happy entrepreneur. How did you take it in your stride at that time or after that?
First of all, thank you very much. And I think that in everything and adversity, you have opportunity. And while it was very frustrating for me, because really as 18 years old, 19 years old, that was my passion. I wanted to do it. Come on, use it. It was so stupid. But then it was okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I learned a lot, and I learned how to cook, and I also learned to work with different people. And it was a really good experience in the end of the day. And I think that entrepreneurship is not about only computers. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. So also in cooking, I was, I would say, innovative in some way. I was calling my mom and asked her how to do different stuff and bring some from home stuff that they didn't have in the military base and kitchen. And I also did in my free time some computing project in the military base. That was kind of an initiative that I created. There was a computer, they didn't do anything with it, so I did stuff, and I think that in the end of the day, they are good in everything, and in the end of the day, this story can be connected going backwards. And never give up. I think that it's never a straight line. It's never a straight line, and you can learn, and you should learn and enjoy what you currently do. And I think that also ask yourself what is happiness for you, because it's a good question. You probably have different answers in different stages in life. Not getting no as an answer, or understand that no is a temporary answer. It's not now. When you're going to raise an investment and someone is telling you no, it's not now. And no is a temporary answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Oren. This will be inspiring for everyone who's going to watch this. Thank you. Thanks a lot for doing it.